All right, and welcome to episode 27 of the Three Damn Dudes podcast. If you are driving to work and listening, you definitely don't fucking know this yet. And if you're watching on Spotify, this is going to look super weird because there's three people on today's episode. There are three human beings. There are two damn dudes, and we have a very special guest today. And I am going to keep you guys waiting in suspense until you hear them get into their weekly recap. Because fuck you guys. That's really what it comes down to.
It's fair.
So, well, actually, we'll get to it in the what are you drinking? Jimmy, what are you drinking?
Nothing.
Brother. Why are you
milk,
like this?
I have milk and juice. That's what I got. I just
the
had
worst.
Milk. So
you just had milk? You had a pre-show milk
and cheesecake. Yeah.
Are you gonna make it through the episode?
I had to pregame.
That's not what. Okay. All right. Okay. All right, buddy. Alisha, what are you drinking?
I've got Celsius right now because I get to go to work after this. So
hell yeah. What's your go-to Celsius flavor?
This one's the Fuji apple pear. Pretty good.
Okay. Yeah, I've been partial to the kiwi guava.
Yeah, that one's good too.
To the point where like my wife will just get a flat from Amazon because I don't have them at Sam's Club anymore.
I mean, yeah, might as well. It's easier.
It doesn't feel cheaper, but it definitely feels easier. And I am again sipping on some Weller because why the fuck not? So I guess to not Jimmy, cheers.
Yeah,
let's have a hell of an episode. I think going forward for the weekly recap, so we don't spend 30 to 50 minutes just bitching about shit that 1% of our listeners care about. Jimmy, I propose we hit like one or two top things and get on to whatever the topic is.
I didn't even write one down because I'm chomping at the bit to get into the meat and potatoes of this episode.
All right, that's fair. Well, then I'll go first. You've got about 45 seconds to figure one out. Like, talk about that graduation that you went to or something. I don't know. That's an idea. You know? Just saying.
All right.
So my daughter, my sweet, precious 3-year-old, threw a absolute temper tantrum at school. Which, right, not out of the norm. She's fucking 3 years old. Except for this tantrum, she did something new. She took all of her fucking clothes off, undies included, and sat in the middle of the room on the rug and just fucking screamed. You know how hard it is to look at the daycare teacher and not be mad about something that's objectively kind of funny if it's not your kid? I tell my wife this when we get home, and she loses it immediately, is just laughing about it. And she's trying to like talk to my daughter and like, really, did you seriously take all of your clothes off and scream at school today? And she can't even get through that without laughing about it. And yeah, that's a new one. She doesn't even do that at home. So that threw me for a hell of a loop, standing at the little half door to pick her up from daycare today.
It sounds like it was effective, though.
I guess they have like a pseudo hands-off policy at that daycare. Like they're really reluctant to provide an assist. To an extent, I get that because you're incurring some liability with like helping a kid put undies on. I get that. But the teacher like looked kind of scared. She came up to the door and tells me this. And she's like, so eventually I put some gloves on and helped her put her underwear on and got her dressed again. And I'm like, well, yeah. Oh, I mean, what else the fuck are you going to do? You're going to let a naked 3-year-old just scream in the middle of a classroom? No, probably not. But she's like, I'm telling you this because kids say things. And I just want you to know that is what happened. Like, I get it. That's fair. That's super fair. Thanks for helping her.
She put gloves on to help your kid? What's This
Dude,
whole this world is a little bit different since the pandemic, I suppose. But
I I don't think it's a pandemic thing, but I think it's just being in proximity to bits and pieces, and you don't know how well they wipe or clean up after the bathroom.
that's fair, I guess.
But yeah, that's I'm gonna try this out. That's my one thing for the recap. Jimmy, what do you got?
um, not a whole lot for me. Um, but Maddie graduated, so proud of her for that. And yeah, so that's really cool. It's a
Does
really
that
cool
mean
thing
that
she
you're
did. She's shaking her head at me no right now. Um, but yeah, so super excited. It's been one hell of a journey that she was on. So it's very cool to see her finally achieve that. But yeah.
so does that mean the days of free manis and petties and Snapchat videos to the boys are over? Or where are we at with
Um
that?
no, so those weren't free manis and petties. Those
Oh
were
shit.
so those those were paid manis and petties. So the free manis and petties are about to start. Um so but yeah, no, I was paying for those, all those. So still see me getting some services and whatnot. So
I'm gonna need you to word that very fucking differently.
nope.
Okay. I'm gonna block you on Snapchat. All right, Alicia, over the last week-ish, is there anything funny, just off the wall, crazy, wonky that happened in your life?
I don't think it's been anything crazy because I've just been stuck at work, but, you spend, like, 18 hours in one room with a bunch of people, it starts getting silly at some point. Just sleep
Is it
deprivation and caffeine and
Yeah. Is there any one moment that takes the cake so far?
I mean, not that I can think of. It was more of like a frustrating thing than anything funny. Normally, we get some pretty interesting characters, that show up when we're working, but we didn't have any stand-up funny ones this time.
Mm. Well, that's a bummer, and I'm sorry to hear that. All right. It feels weird being done with the recap within the first 8 minutes of the episode,
It feels
but
freeing.
all right, if you say so. Um, okay. Well, we do in fact have a guest. This is a couple firsts for the Three Damn Dudes. We have our first lady guest, and we also have like our first like mostly serious, actually matters and is kind of important episode. So with that, um, oh, that was a Weller burp. Sorry, Jesus. Whew.
I'm so sorry.
All right, the serious part of the episode starts now. Alicia, who are you? What's your background? Where'd you come from?
Yeah, so my name is Alicia. Um, I spent so I grew up in Colorado, very outdoorsy kid running around, which apparently I learned recently that not all states, like the Colorado education curriculum is vastly different than other states. Um, like the water cycle, it's very like nature heavy. Decided to join the Marine Corps right out of high school. I was a Russian cryptologic linguist. Um, Ended up doing 12 years in the Marine Corps, did not use Russian once. So that was, all that time I had to spend at DLI learning this language. Um, got deployed a couple times as doing like signals intel, but never for language, but still required to maintain it. So did my 12 years in the Marine Corps, got out, decided to go the defense contractor route. Very quickly learned that, you know, still working in a basement of a building with no windows, like, selling my soul every day wasn't worth it. Um, Started looking for something else and conveniently landed in the job that I'm in right now, which is an intelligence analyst for Deliver Fund, which is a nonprofit organization, and we train, equip, and advise law enforcement on fighting human trafficking.
Hell yeah.
That's what I was gonna say.
You get to pick a different one.
All right, fine. Fuck yeah. How about that?
All
Okay,
right.
that is a hell of a background, and I'm sorry that you were a Russianling. Yeah, that's a hell of a place to do your first, I guess, that enlistment. Um, Jeez. All right. Yeah, you hit like the majority of that. So deployments, you had a few of them. Um,
Yes.
were I guess without being too specific, where were you at? Where did you end up at on those deployments?
I did, which was like the ultimate hookup. I did an individual augment deployment to Afghanistan, um, which was like after that, I don't think anything could beat that, and it didn't because my second deployment was Eastern Europe, very different in all aspects. Which the second deployment was with an infantry battalion as well, so just completely different worlds from like my cushy IA deployment to having to actually do things the Marine Corps way.
Yeah, that's fair and gross. I feel like the RFF was the closest thing to like a cushy IA that I ever got. Um, and then did two more after that that were definitely not like the RFF.
Yeah, I think that
That
one
was
kinda ruined me because I had, like, a sleep number bed, like, I got, like, a steak on the plane on the flight out, it was like, "First class, here's your steak," and then I go from that to, like, middle of nowhere Romania for 8 months. It was yeah.
Jeez. What language do they speak in Romania? Give me the stupid answer and say that it's Romanian. Just make me
They
look like the biggest dumbass.
they do speak Romanian, so it's funny because, I used to have to brief the battalion commander on, like, different countries that we were gonna be going to. So I'm giving the country brief on Latvia, and I'm like, "Yeah," so I start talking about the country, and he's like, "What language do they speak in Latvia?" And I was like, "Well, they speak Latvian." And he's like, "Do you think I'm stupid?" And I was like, No, I'm like, I'm being dead serious, like, that's what they speak." And he starts, like, yelling at me in front of this room full of people. I just sit there and I'm like, "Okay, whatever." And then I click next slide, and the top thing is, like, official language, Latvian. And I was like, "Okay."
How different is like Latvian from Russian?
It's pretty different, but, like, that whole, like, section, like, the Baltic states, everything's kind of a conglomerate of, like, a little bit of Russian, like, a little bit of this. It's just, like, so many influences.
Yeah, I was gonna guess that you could probably be good enough to be semi-dangerous or, end up in jail for speaking the wrong dialect. But I mean, either way, right?
Well, that's what yeah, like, all the, especially in Latvia, like, most people speak Russian, especially, like, the older generations. So I could get by, I just always had to apologize first and be like, "I'm sorry, this is the only way I communicate with you, so forgive me."
Jeez. All right, I think probably the last thing we're gonna pull off the Ask a Vet questionnaire is what is your favorite military movie?
Ah, that's really hard. I don't know, like, I think, like, if you wanna go for just classic, like, dumb movie, like, Major Payne is pretty classic, especially, like, Marines, like, it makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, that's unfortunately fair. I wish you were wrong about Major Payne, but Yeah, nope, that fucking spot on. Damn it. Um, okay, so as Jimmy, as you pointed out, you're just excited to get to the meat and potatoes, bud. Well, guess what, man? We're here.
Hell yeah. Let's go.
So you left the Marine Corps, sold your soul to something adjacent to the devil for a little bit, and then ended up over at the Deliver Fund.
Yes.
Um, I guess how was the transition from like I guess the last lead up to where you're at now? How was the transition from uniform to contracting and then contracting to what you're doing now?
Uniform to contracting for me was a nightmare because I went from the Marine Corps directly to working with the Space Force.
Oh,
Yeah, and so the Space Force was like still trying to figure a lot of things out. And they're like, we're trying to figure out regulations. And I was like, if you have other branches that already have them established, like your entire force is people that have come from other branches. Like you have um very interesting culture for sure. Um Also very frustrating. I was the only Marine that was on our team. So I guess I was a little more angsty than the rest of the team because I had no problem calling things out. But yeah, Space Force was wild. Um, did that and I was like, it's getting to a point. I don't like getting flashbanged every time I go outside because I don't know what the weather's like. So started looking for another job and I was like, I only have a particular set of skills that I'm good at. So do I want to continue basically being a creep or do I learn a whole completely different set of skills? So decided to see if I could find another creepy job that would allow me to like have windows and saw the job posting and it was like if you're not this isn't financial intelligence, this is not business intelligence, like if you don't have government, military, law enforcement experience, do not apply. So started looking into the company, applied and it was, you know, short period after that I was dropping my papers and quitting contracting.
hell yeah. Yeah, I catch myself fantasizing about quitting contracting, then I remember that I've got a mortgage and
And
I've done this to myself.
that's why like everybody that I talk to that does it, they're like, "Yeah, I'm not the biggest fan of it, but it pays well." And so they just keep doing it, which you can't
Yeah.
argue.
Yeah, I just wish I could eventually retire from it.
Yeah. Well, that's what when I did my first interview for this job and they're like, "Well, what's your ideal work environment?" And I was like, "Well, can I see outside?" And they're like, "What do you mean?" They're like, "Yeah, like there's windows." And I was like, "But like windows that I can actually look out that go outside that I don't have to like." And they're like, "Where are they keeping you?" And I'm like, "Do I get lights that aren't red? Like, can I have something?"
Oh, jeez.
But then
It's
because our CEO is, prior military and CIA, so he completely understood where I was coming from.
I just want to be able to see grass. All
Yeah,
right, that's it.
I wanna know what the weather is outside.
Yeah, what a beautiful thought. Someday, eventually. Um, okay, so Deliver Fund, you guys are primarily in the in the man train equip space without the manning part of it.
Yeah, so we
Is that
do, like, training, equipping, and advising, so we've got, like, databases. We actually have the largest analyst-curated human trafficking database in the world. Um, we have our, um basically our platform that like I can search phone numbers and email addresses and it'll tell me if it's associated with any commercial sex ads. Um, so we've got all that, and then we provide training as well as direct operational support to law enforcement. So we're kind of trying to hit everything all at once.
Yeah, that's what I was going to ask is how much you guys are dabbling in like the DURSA to operations portion of it.
Um,
Go ahead.
yeah, we do quite a bit with that. They've got a huge operation they do statewide in California every year called Operation Reclaim and Rebuild. And basically the whole state is like very heavy. Everyone's doing operations to try to recover trafficking victims. So we'll go out for that. Um, Me being in Dallas, Fort Worth, stay pretty busy with doing ops here. So it's just, if they need direct support, we've helped out with the Super Bowl. We assisted with the NFL draft this year. So just whoever needs help, we're there.
That's wild. So when you guys go out and provide support to ops, like, are I guess are you like, and I don't mean to dumb this down or put it in layman's terms. I just have no functional idea. Like, are you guys another body manning a radio, or are you guys like getting into it? I mean, like, what are the lefts and rights, and not necessarily for any specific event, but when you guys are providing like DURSA, what does that actually look like? Is it like tipping and queuing? Is it INW? Or are you guys like pushing packages to guys who are going to go, you know, kick a hotel room door in?
I guess it kind of depends because each agency is different, but it also depends because there's different types of operations that we do. So, for example, like when I was out in California, we were doing it's called an outreach operation. So we basically contact the girls and set up dates, have them come to the hotel, and then they walk in the hotel and there's a team of uniformed officers. So um, for those, I'll typically spend a couple days prior, and I am just looking through sex ads all day, every day, looking for trafficking indicators. And then I write up like packages about, hey, here's indicators. Then we try to get those girls in, which like they get to talk to victim services, they get interviewed by law enforcement. Um, and then in most places, at least everywhere that I work, they get let go because you can't arrest your way out of the problem. If you're just arresting a girl and charging her with prostitution, her trafficker is just going to go find another girl and completely replace her. So it kind of makes it worse. And then we do what's called demand suppression operations, which is where we are posing as the girls trying to get the guys to come to the hotel thinking they're setting up a date, which is most times entertaining but also disgusting at the same time. Um, so for those, I'm basically trying to identify the guy that's showing up before he gets to the hotel. So like running like a complete criminal history, trying to figure out who he is just in case because we've had some characters show up. So it's just, I mean, I'm sitting with a laptop. I have like 40 tabs open and like at least 3 spreadsheets is mostly what I'm doing.
Damn, you're like a professional catfish. That's pretty
Yeah.
bad. That's pretty
Oh my God.
badass.
I had to, I
Dude, I
had
want
to,
that job.
so I'm sitting in a room like full of guys and they're all like men in their 30s and 40s pretending to be 20-year-old girls talking to men and they're anywhere from 20s to like we had like a 70-year-old one time. So it's men trying to be girls talking to other men, but the guys that are purchasing, like they'll want a phone call because they want to make sure that they're actually talking to a girl.
Of course.
So then I have to like run out of the room and take the phone call. And so like I'm like we were super busy one time and the guys that show up to these, like we had one guy which we mistakenly had like a marked car out front of the hotel because they were transporting the guys that we had already gotten. And the guy shows up and he's like, "No, the cops are here. I'm out." Which logically makes sense because especially now in Texas, it's a felony to solicit. So he takes off And we're immediately texting. We're like, "Oh no, baby, come back." Like, yeah, there was just like this weird domestic thing. Like I just heard yelling, like, "You should come back." And he's like, "Okay."
Mm.
So he comes back and then he's still kind of like spooked out. And he's like, "Well, can you come out front and get me?" And I'm like, "No, obviously not, because you're gonna be met by a man." So I like go into the bathroom of like the sheriff's department and turn the sink on. And I call him and I was like, "Oh, hey, sorry, like I'm shaving my legs, but like I'll leave the door propped. Just come on up." And he's like, "Okay." Like zero instincts at all. Walks straight into the room, gets met with the SWAT team. But I'm like, he had his chance.
He had several chances.
I think the absolute worst one, which is probably the funniest, this guy tried to set up a date on his lunch break. I think he ended up like getting fired or written up at his job, so he was not happy. He's on his way to the date and gets a flat tire. And so he texts and he's like, "This day cannot possibly get any worse." And I'm like, "Well, maybe let's not, throw that out there yet."
I hope it got worse.
Oh yeah, he got to spend the weekend in jail. So yeah.
He got written up.
I was like, I really want to be in that room when he walks in and like the cops are there. And I'm like,
Yeah, no
"Well,
kidding.
you said it couldn't get worse, but you weren't using your imagination."
Just text him real quick. Oh, damn, guess it could get worse.
Yeah, right. Guess
Ooh.
you were wrong.
People are fucking wild.
I kind of
Yeah,
want her job, man. Just being on the other end of the phone. I'm just, I'd be good at it, I think.
Buddy, I think your voice might be a little too deep.
Well, yeah, I wouldn't be able to do phone calls. But just picture me on the other end, just chatting them up. It'd be
That's what
pretty
we've
funny.
got one officer that I work with, and we'll get in and like I'm still setting my laptop up and he'll be like, "All right, so I got a date at 10, 10:15, 10:20, 10:30." Like he just has them lined up every time and he's just like, "All right, let's go." Scheduled out.
Nice.
And so you said it's a felony to solicit in Texas.
Yes.
I guess what's the normal punishment that goes along with that? Like how long are these guys getting locked up for?
I think it depends. So typically, at least until like once we get them, they usually spend 2 to 3 days, maybe the weekend in jail, until their adjudication. I think that we've had a couple where it's like it's very clearly their first time doing it, and so it's like, okay. But I mean, we've had guys that I'm like, they're like, "No, it's my first time, I swear," and I'm like, "There's no way." Um, we had a guy. He actually was a doctor and had his own practice. Um, Very clearly, like, looking through the text and stuff was not his first time. We had a retired police officer, same thing. Like, you can tell by the way they're talking to people. We got a, high school football coach. He thought he was
Yeah.
meeting up with a 17-year-old, though, so his was a little different.
So without like sending the specific like URL or whatever, like how is this like over Facebook? Like is this over like how like is this like through websites like Backpage? Like how are you guys like doing this?
So I think what's the most horrifying is, like, the last training that I did, I had 26 officers. They range from, like, patrol, the attorney general's office, they're all over. And I asked them, like, "Does anybody know how to get to the dark web?" They're like, "No." So these men that are buying sex also don't know how to get to the dark web. So it's like it's Googleable. It is like ordering a pizza. You go to a website, you call or text a number, and you just say, "This is what I want," and they're like, "Okay, how about this time?" Like it's wildly accessible on the open facing internet. I would say for when it comes to like the social media stuff, that's more of like grooming, and that's how they more get victims or like kids. Because like Facebook dating is a pretty notorious one here. Instagram's a big one. So the social media and stuff is more for the grooming. But yeah, if you're looking for commercial sex ads, it's Googleable.
So for there's a lot of people, myself included for the most part, like I am familiar with the term, but don't have a whole lot of knowledge on the subject. Can you kind of explain the whole dark web concept just for like people who are like, what the hell is that? You know?
Yeah, so most people think there's a lot of like nefarious things that go on the dark web. It is you have to have a specific like browser to get to it. It is wildly unregulated, and so there's like they had like the Silk Road was on there, so there's been like people doing organ trafficking. Um, there are websites on the dark web where you can buy like passports, you can just order drugs, you can order like so that it's a very, I guess, mostly nefarious, but it is unregulated and it's very difficult to like hold anybody accountable because it is so anonymous and it's not like you can't just go to Google and look something up. You have to know specifically what you're looking for. Um, so it's very difficult for the average person as well. Like they're not going to go navigate the dark web. Even then, the amount of um, other people on the dark web. So you have to have like a specific computer because you don't want to use your personal computer in many cases. So there's just so many risks to it that, now they've just made it on the open facing internet.
Because I think at first, like, wasn't that one of the big fears of like the cryptocurrency and stuff like that was being used in the dark web for like transactions that couldn't be like traced and followed and stuff?
Yeah. And that was a big thing, which is wild because I've seen more um, girls over the last like year that will accept crypto as one of their payment methods.
Yeah. It's pretty crazy shit. Um to kind of go back like a minute, like you said when you guys are arresting or not arresting, when you guys are setting up these dates, usually when you guys are having the females come, you guys are letting them go. Um and that was because you said that the traffickers would just replace them, right? So
Yes.
the people that are pursuing these dates, I'm assuming they don't get let go. Um how often is it that the people, like the females, are like actually trafficked victims when they're coming to you?
So I will say one recent op that I did, I think I gave them probably 30 packages. I think we ended up having 20 girls come in, and 11 of those resulted in confirmed trafficking cases.
What
So it really kind
happens
of,
then?
so we always have like a victim advocacy group. So we had, this was I think last year, we had two girls show up. Um, and the one girl was like clearly uncomfortable in the hotel room and she kept trying to like get away to like talk to the officer. So they separate him and she's like, "Hey, I'm being trafficked by the other girl and her husband." So we're like, "Okay, so bring her to the police station." And she's like, "Yeah." She's like, "I've run away multiple times." She's like, "They always find me. They like beat the shit out of me, and then I like owe them money because she was living with them." They had like a one bedroom apartment. It was the man and his wife, their children, and then this girl. And she's like, "Yeah, like he just beats the shit out of me." And then they say that I owe them like $50,000 for like rent, food, board. And she's like, so basically the other girl was going with her on dates to make sure that she wouldn't run away, but also like enforce that she was making her like quota. Um, so we got her, she got interviewed by law enforcement, the victim advocacy group. they're like, "Okay, what do you need?" She's like, "I need somewhere to go." And they're like, "Cool." Um, made a couple phone calls and like got her several hours away in like a safe house for the time being until they could like get her stuff. And so we always have victim advocate groups there as well, just in case if somebody does like decide on the spot they don't want to do it anymore and they want to get out of that situation, like they'll make it happen. It's just unfortunately the victims don't usually identify as victims. So it'll take anywhere from, 6 months to several years before they actually like accept help and want help. So
Well, so that's kind of a interesting way to put it, and an interesting. How do you mean that they don't realize that they're victims?
because a lot of times they think that like their trafficker or their pimp is like their family, their boyfriend, like
Oh, like
just
Stockholm syndrome type
yeah, that's
deal?
exactly
Okay.
what it is. It's like a
Okay.
trauma response. And they think like, oh no, he takes care of me, like he keeps me safe. And so they don't see themselves as being victims, and it takes a lot to like get them out of that.
Okay. That makes sense. That makes way more sense now. Jesus Christ.
Yeah, I guess I had no idea that it was that fucking openly accessible and easy to get to. Like that blows my fucking mind. That I'm very quickly, which is a new thing for me, finding myself without words in this episode because I've always got some smart ass thing to say or some quick quip. But fuck's sake.
And that's what like we have when we do the demand suppression. So like when we have the Johns show up, I mean, they're just like on their phone, sitting there on their work break, setting up a date for their lunch. We had one guy, which is still horrifying to me. Um, he made a pit stop at the hotel where he thought that he was gonna hook up on the way from picking up his daughter's recital dress.
Oh
So
yeah,
he
yeah, yeah.
starts yeah, so he starts crying in the hotel, and I'm like, "What?" Which I had already like, I found his Facebook, and I was like, "Oh, wow, like, beautiful family," and he's like, "Yeah, my wife's out of town. I was picking up my daughter's dress for her recital tonight." And they're like, "Yeah, that's not happening." They're like, "You can call a friend to get it out of your truck, and they can explain to your daughter, like, why you're not gonna be at her recital."
It's crazy.
Like that just that doesn't and probably forever will just not make any fucking sense to me. Like I can do the mental gymnastics to like squint really hard and look in the opposite direction and go, "Yeah, okay. Sure, maybe." Like how? Why? What the fuck is wrong with you? Like mm, mhm. The
I know
words, they're
that's what we
just
were so we were joking about the potato peeler earlier, but I
mhm.
don't know if that might not even be good enough.
No, I mean, like we talked about earlier, I have forever been a big fan of like the wood chipper idea. Just feed them feet first through a half broken one that skips and jams up sometimes. Um, but yeah, listening to the yeah, why don't you just use a potato peeler instead? I'm like, oh
Throw on
fuck.
some Enya,
It's-
just chill out and maybe a little like
com-
Lord of the Rings soundtrack.
right.
Oh,
Weird, completely unrelated side story, but that comment made me think of it. So hunt. I hunt every year. Hunt deer. The first time I brought a buddy from work to like come out with us and hunt the property that we hunt. Like he drove separate up to the property. He didn't see shit. One of the other guys got a deer, so we're all meeting back up at the house to, process it and get it in the cooler, package it up, you know, take care of all the nasty work afterward. Well, my buddy Brennan gets there late and we've already got the deer hanging in the garage and we already coordinated it. So as soon as he opened his truck door, he would just hear Mozart. And the garage door would be half cracked, and we would just be in there going to work. And we wanted to see how fucking weird we could make it for this
Yeah.
guy's first time, like, hanging out with the group, seeing the full process with us. And, right, another Marine. He rolls in and he's like, "Oh, it's that kind of party. All right, fuck it." Grabs his knife and jumps in, and I'm like, "All right, damn it. I guess he fits in. He can stay." But
That's why,
the
you gotta do it sometimes.
yeah. I think the potato peeler or the vegetable peeler, whatever we're calling it, and then like some ghost pepper extract. Just like
Ooh,
every swipe gets a couple drops, and you walk away for 10 minutes. You have a smoke break,
yeah.
and you go back in and do it again, and just
Yeah.
see how long they last. It's like there's no getting out of it at that point. Like that's
Yeah.
the end. But sorry, you fucked up. You did the one thing that we just don't do, and especially if it's not a 20-year-old and it's closer to like the 17-year-old that you talked about. Like, that just means it takes longer. Because like, the one thing that should be the constant baseline for every human being is you don't hurt kids. You just don't
Oh,
fucking
yeah. Absolutely.
that is, like, the most off limits thing.
Do you have any like really like satisfying result results like are there any cases like with that type of thing where there's something truly awful going on? Like do you have any like feel good like ending good happy ending type stories?
I mean, we've had quite a few, um, that have, like, gone to prosecution. It hasn't been anything, like, as satisfying, but at least some significant, you know, which is still not enough, but, like, 20+ year sentences. The problem so I've been doing this for almost 2 years. The problem is that with these human trafficking cases, it can take 2 to 10+ years to even get an adjudication and, like, go to court. So it just takes so long for these cases to even make it through, like, prosecution and everything. So we've had 1 or 2 since I've been here, but unfortunately, like, my really good ones that I was like, "We need to get this girl out," they haven't reached prosecution yet.
Yeah, because 'cause I'd imagine that, like, right, if you start with making contact with one of the girls and, right, they're like, "Yep, I'm definitely being trafficked." That's only step 1.
Mhm.
You've still gotta build that network, and you've gotta get all the evidence, and you've gotta work with the local law enforcement, or you've gotta work with whatever level law enforcement to build the case, to go to court, to get the conviction, to hopefully get the time that everybody hopes these fucking people get.
Yeah, it's
Honestly,
definitely
wish we
lengthy process.
I wish we'd bring back hanging, to be honest, when it comes to that type of thing.
Just, like,
Like
public right in the town square.
yeah, like public display type shit. Yeah. I really do. I'm very like I'm not usually the type to wish harm upon others, or usually I don't, even if it's somebody I don't like, I don't really like to see, I don't celebrate people dying and stuff like that. But yeah, no, when it comes to this certain topic, I'm very passionate about this topic. I really, really, really wish that we would do public hangings with this type of thing, like make it a spectacle. Um, like don't worry, Mike, I won't go too hard into it. But you're absolutely right. Like we're 7 years into the Epstein shit, and we haven't seen any arrests or anything like that, and there's a lot of disgusting shit in those files and those
Oh,
emails
yeah.
and all of that, like, like, oh, I'm getting mad thinking about it, like, I've got goosebumps thinking about it, I'm getting so pissed off. Um, it's crazy. Like, a happy ending to me is saving the kids, getting the kids out of there, and obviously a close second is seeing those who are responsible, pay for their crimes is close second. But yeah, no, it is truly disgusting to see how long of a process it is to get the justice system to do its job. So
And I see a lot too, like, there's a particular town in Texas, but they'll have somebody that, like, jaywalks or, like, has a joint of, like, weed on them and, like, jail, no bail. But they have I actually went through and made a chart, that's how much of, like, a data nerd I am. Made a chart of, like, every sex offender that lives in that town, and, like, you can see before a certain year, they were all getting jail time, and then after a specific year, like, they get probation every time. Like, there's some horrendous cases involving, like, two-year-olds, and the guy gets, like, probation. And so it's like, everybody's, like, so outrageous about it, but I'm like, "Look in your own community." Like, your own community, your own prosecutors, your district attorneys, like, they need to give a shit just as much as you do, and if they don't, then, like, you need to start pushing them to do better.
So I have a question actually. So we are witnessing for the first time something really, really, really beautiful, and it is that people are starting to wake up and see this type of shit. Um, like for the first time, like people are really starting to think and question things and see it for what it is. Um, what should people be looking for, like in their own local government and stuff like that, to look for this type of corruption and like just exactly like you said, DAs, prosecutors and stuff like that. What are people looking for so that they can say, hey, you know what, something ain't right here. How do they access that information?
I mean, most counties have websites you can just look up criminal records. Um, so what I did is I went to, like, the sex offender registry, pulled everyone from that specific area, and then pulled them up in the, like, the criminal database for the county, so I could see, like, what the crime was and get more details, then you start seeing it, and especially now, like, Facebook, so many towns and areas have, like, the mugshot pages where they show, like, "Oh, so and so got arrested," and you keep seeing these people that have, like, offenses against children keep getting probation, like, which to me is completely unacceptable. If it's like a 19-year-old dating a 17-year-old, that's one thing, but that's not what this is. This is grown adults who are specifically exploiting and taking advantage of kids that realistically cannot consent. Um, so I would just look at your local community, occasionally check out, like, the mugshot pages, see, like, yeah, so if these people are committing this heinous crimes, is the prosecutor actually, you know, giving them jail time, or are they just letting them out with probation every time? So I kept seeing the trend of probation every time, and I was like, "This is not right at all." Um, I actually emailed the DA's office and asked them why, and they just said, "Well, they're all eligible for probation," and refused to give me any more information on it.
So when you take that and blast that out all over social media.
Oh, I've shared the chart multiple times. I have to update it, um, to the point where, like, I think this district attorney is I mean, like, people need to know, and they should care that, like, it's not just, the judge, it's not just that, like, this is the justice system failing because of the prosecutors, because of the district attorneys, like, not doing enough. And that's, like, if they're not educated enough, then that's another problem in itself, but they're not familiar enough with, like, trafficking and things like that, but
And for all of you playing the home game, just keep in mind that according to Google's AI, your district attorneys are generally elected. So
yep, they
fucking
are.
pay attention. You all, every single one of you, if you fucking find this shit absolutely horrific and disgusting, you have the power to influence the individuals that are functionally deciding whether these fucking absolute pieces of shit get probation or go away for a decade or,
Yep.
the rest of their
Back
natural
out
born
on the
fucking
streets.
lives.
Yeah. Yeah, it's crazy shit, dude.
And I guess the concern has been that some people have, like, tried to counter argue of like, "Oh, well, the within the prison has its own justice system, and typically within the prison, they typically don't take kindly to people that, um, are offenders against children." And I'm like, "Well, then there's a very easy way to avoid that, and it's not giving them probation, it's just don't do it.
Right.
Yeah.
Like, just don't be a shitty person."
To an extent, that sounds like a self-correcting fucking problem to me.
Yeah, well, yeah, and that's,
You round them up, you put them in jail, and then they go in the ground. Which, right, that's granted a fucked up thing to say out loud. However,
I was thinking cheese grater flashlight, but all right.
Whoa, Jesus, my brother in Christ!
Who hurt you?
I'd rather the fucking vegetable peeler.
yeah, I think that would be
Holy
significantly
shit.
worse.
Oh, fucking why?
I'm just imagining,
Forbidden
like, somebody's gonna be
Gadussi.
listening to this, like, driving to work and just chilling, and that visual is just gonna, like, hit them.
I want you to enjoy that. It's like ASMR, dude.
I don't think
Yeah,
it's
no,
anything like that, and I don't want to see your browsing history now, ever.
Hey, we're
Holy
talking
shit.
potato peelers and whatnot. I just like to party. I don't know.
Hey, man. Tomato, tomato, I guess.
I don't
So
really
outside
know.
of
Yeah, go ahead.
paying attention and giving a shit about your local and state elections to hit this problem from that angle and try to get, harsher sentencing and really enforce making the example and trying to quash the problem from that end. I mean, what are the other ways that I guess you see huge success in like getting to a state where this doesn't happen anymore?
I guess there's 2 ways to go about it. Obviously, the first, shameless plug, donate to Deliver Fund. Um, we're we're doing it the right way, the way that it should be done, the legal way. We've got 100% prosecution rate thus far. So, um, we're really trying to our goal is to, like, be unemployed, essentially. Like, getting rid of these traffickers is, like, the ideal situation. The other way that I would say would be have more awareness, learn about indicators, have talks with your kids because, kids are often, um, pretty, I don't wanna say easy, but they're a lot more vulnerable targets for traffickers to get to. So have that awareness, know the indicators, and, like, have those talks with your kids. Know what they're doing on the internet, know those specific apps. Um, there's way too many now that just have this anonymity and, like, are built with the intent of, like, exploitation and grooming.
So Jimmy and I are both parents of youngins. What are some of those indicators for us and everyone else listening? And what are the things to definitely keep an eye out for and flag?
So especially when it comes to, like, teenagers, and younger kids, indicators I would say would definitely be if they used to love doing sports or playing video games and they're not having that same interest anymore, um, which a lot of parents would probably think, "Oh, maybe they're upset or depressed," but that can be, a big indicator. If they seem like they're separating themselves from their friends, like they don't talk to the same people anymore, if they're not as communicative with you as a parent or, a trusted adult in their life, because what the trafficker is gonna do is they're going to try to become their target's, like, only emotional support. So they want to separate them from their friends, their family, and anybody else. They want to be their like sole person, because that's how they groom them and get that relationship. So if they're trying to like separate themselves from friends and family and just seem kind of off, that's another big indicator. And then honestly, just like checking in, like what do they have on their phone? Um, Having those difficult conversations, but there has to be that trust there of like, I'm not spying on you. I'm trying to like, which, like I was an 11-year-old kid on what was it? Like AIM, the AOL chat rooms. I was an 11-year-old kid in there, like, oh, 16 female California, like ASL. I know how horrifying it was. And that was, 20 something years ago. And now it's just, kids are going to do it. So it's just having that conversation, right? You're not wanting to let these predators into your home by means of your child's phone. So some of the apps, like which first off, Roblox. If your kid is on Roblox, throw the whole thing out.
I
Get rid
was
of console, get rid of anything that it is.
just
Anything
gonna
with
say. I was
yes,
just gonna
anything
say,
with
stay the fuck
Roblox,
off
like
Roblox.
has me fuming. Yeah, do not let your kids play Roblox. If you're gonna do like some of the other games that you have like servers, do a local server and make sure that you personally know who is going to be playing in that room or that server. They've got like calculator apps now that aren't actually calculator apps. They're fake and they're like a storage system. So they can save videos, photos, and it's like a hidden folder on their phones. Um, I just had one today. So Discord can be dangerous. Um, like what is it, Omegle, like like chat roulette. Oh my god, yeah. These as an adult, the amount of things I've seen on chat roulette has been disturbing enough. We used to play actually when I was at DLI, we used to make a game out of it, of course, because we're all young Marines, and we'd put on chat roulette and every time you see a wiener, you got a drink. Um, just barracks activities. Um,
I hang on. I have a really, really fucked up, funny ass thing. And it wasn't Omegle. What was it? Oh no. There was one that was really big in like 2010, 2011. It
that was
was
probably chat roulette. Yeah, that's what
yeah,
we were
yeah.
using.
That's what it was. Fucking. Oh, I got to be careful with what word I use. I folded my belly. I have a hairy belly, like, and I folded it like this. I like folded it like a crack, right? And I was going like this, right? Completely baiting baiting the baiters actually is exactly how. Dude, I'll never forget, there was one dude who was cranking, and he comes across mine, and I'm just caressing ever so slightly the crack in my stomach, and all of a sudden the camera pans up to my face. I was like, gotcha, bitch. And dude, he jumped forward and hit that next button. Oh my god, dude. I used to do that shit all the time at my buddy Lee's house. It was like one of my favorite things to do. And I forgot all about it until you just said that. Holy shit. Oh man.
So there's a
Good
group of us
times.
in Texas for one of the schools way too many years ago now, but we would do Omegle Friday nights. And there was one dude in the group who had like an absolutely hairless ass. So we did something similar where we pulled his like gym shorts and boxers down so it looked like cleavage. And we did the same thing. Just, skip through, and it's like, oh, we're gonna get him. We're gonna get him. Like, let it go for a second or two, and then flip the camera up, and there's 6 dudes with fucking stupid ass haircuts and mustaches, and we're all like, gotcha, bitch.
Oh, I love it.
I was happy. I had forgotten all about that, and now that's in my memory. That guy's hairless ass crack. It's right back. Damn
We
it.
need to do a 3 Damn Dudes Omegle sesh.
No, we don't. No, we don't, Jimmy. We absolutely don't.
That would, yeah. That's what I think too, is because we all know how like horrifying the internet is.
Yeah.
Oh God. That's gonna be that's gonna be our mission. Is she's gonna be out there doing the Lord's work, and we're gonna kind of be like the anti-heroes. We're just gonna give all the perverts psychological trauma, dude.
You know, it's a modem disruption.
Yeah, hell yeah. That's our role in it. I've been asking myself, how do we help? And I think we just found our mission statement.
Just pan the screen up and you hear, "Welcome to the 3 Damn Dudes podcast."
Oh my God. Hell yeah.
We would all have to actually meet up in person to do that though, Jimmy, and that would be a logistical feat in and of itself.
Come back to Michigan.
No, I picked the Marine Corps to leave that place. What in the world makes you think I would go back?
They took you from me.
You shut your whore mouth.
I hate them. I was not a Marine, by the way. I'm like the only one that wasn't.
No, Jimmy's our token civilian, and Gavin. I guess note for all of our listeners. Our third damn dude. He's probably going to be out for a couple weeks. He's got some health shit going on with the VA. And with the stuff he's doing right now to try to get on top of it and get a handle back on all the shit he's got going on. He's gonna take a short step back from recording every week, and I promise he will be back. He will absolutely be back because he's too far into this thing to fucking quit on us. So even if he wants to quit, we're not gonna let.
We're like 24 episodes in, but yeah, we're
27 episodes in.
We're invested. But yeah, no, I agree.
He's in the artwork. We can't just
That's true.
Thanos snap and delete him.
That's true.
How are we going to be the 3 damn dudes with 2 damn dudes?
That is true. Very true.
Exactly. Can't replace him. It's fucked up.
That is true.
Okay.
Can I talk about their website real quick? Because I've been looking through it while we've been talking. They've got some badass merch on there, dude. They got a Viking shirt, and I'm on the join the fight tab, like just seeing like how like we can help and stuff like that. And I see one that says talk to your employer, and I think I'm gonna do that. What should we ask our employer? Because I think my employer would probably do something.
To be honest, I don't know. I guess it would be, a lot of it is, because we do train law enforcement, but we've also done training for like financial workers. We've done like some for like hospitality. Just I guess anywhere that training would benefit. Um, and even if that's just, hey, here's indicators, here's um, basically like a mini training session.
Yeah, because I'm seeing sponsor one of our supercomputer software programs and new initiatives, help spread the word by supporting one of our campaigns, and host your own fundraiser or event to raise critical funds. Then there's also make a donation and have your employer match it. I saw somewhere in there. So my employer does this pretty cool thing where they give us a budget to where we can buy clothes each year. And I still have like $200 to spend, and I think I'm going to use the company card and buy some merch. So
Oh, there you
I
go.
think I'm gonna rep some of that merch because that Viking shirt looks pretty sweet.
When we've
So
got, I think in the next couple months, we've got some newer designs that are gonna come out too that look pretty cool. They're, like, very, like, American traditional style,
Hell yeah.
so I'm excited for those to come out.
Hell yeah. We need to do a collab in the future when we get big enough. When we get bigger, you know? I think it'd be
I mean,
cool.
we might get there someday. Or, I mean, we can just keep doing what we're doing now and continue to do episode. Wow, do you guys hear me fucking buffer and then skip right there?
Just pray
That
real
was
hard.
incredible. Yeah. Continue to do, there we go, episodes like this and use the little reach that we actually do have. And as it grows, continue to use that reach to talk to people who are getting after some really amazing mission sets.
Which, by
And
the way, to all the listeners, sorry, Mike. This is like a really, really good time to mention this. So a lot of one of our fears with this episode is that when people talk about topics like this, they tend to get kind of throttled a little bit. They kind of get they won't have the same level of reach that a normal episode will. It's almost like there's something nefarious going on social media or Spotify or Apple Music or YouTube. They've done anything as far as, because I do listen to other channels that talk about stuff like this. They will try to demonetize, which we're not monetized, so we're not really worried about that. But what they will do is they will take you out of the search history, like the search engine. Like if you're trying to, like, for example, this isn't the same topic, but Joe Rogan had an episode where he had a pretty big guest on, not to be political, and YouTube made it to where you couldn't even find it by searching it. You had to know exactly what you were looking for to find it, yet it still managed to get like 3 billion views or whatever like that. But they will do stuff like that. Not that we're anywhere near like Joe Rogan or anything, but when we use certain keywords and stuff like that, we will get kind of throttled and hidden. So please, if you guys have the ability to, if you guys can just take the couple seconds that it takes, share this episode so people can see it and hear it, because nobody's going to be doing us any favors by making this one super accessible. So please help us out and share this. Sorry, Mike.
no, I think that was roughly where I was going to roundabout get to at some point. So it's all good. I was just also going through the Deliver Fun website looking to see if you guys had polos that I could get away with wearing to work.
Oh,
And it doesn't look like it right now.
yeah, I
Looks
don't
like I
think
But
we
have a
do.
something
pullover in
so something
the.
my company does is we also get like $300 a year to get company branded merch. But the thing they said is you can go outside of the websites that they partner with and basically get them merch that you go and get on your own as long as it's professional, and they'll send it off to get the company logo put on it.
Oh, nice.
So logically, I could rock a my company shirt that's also a Deliver Fun shirt.
Yeah.
I
Maybe
would
I
have to
should
talk
talk
to
to
them
them about
about that.
making polos, yeah.
See, I've got a buddy who wears your guys' hat a lot at work. And I
Oh,
told him
really?
that we were going to do this episode. Actually, you might know him. And once we cut this episode, I'll tell you who it is. But he wears that hat a lot. And I was like, yeah, we're talking to Alicia from Deliver Fun. And he's like, oh, you mean like my hat? And I'm like, oh, fuck, dude. Yeah, like your hat. Look at that. Ugh. That was a super weird, super cool, surreal moment. Um, okay, is there anything else, Jimmy, that you want to ask on this topic, or Alicia, you want to bring up on this topic? Because I have
Um,
Colorado questions.
oh, yeah, well, I think I've pretty much covered everything on the trafficking aspect. I mean, because 'cause I'll sit there and talk about it all day, but that's, just what I do.
Yeah, that's
Um,
fair.
one question that I really wanted to ask you is there's two questions actually. What kind of mental toll does this line of work take, and how do you cope with it?
So I think that's partially why we also have the databases that we do and, like, why we've built that focus, is it alleviates a lot of the mental toll for officers as well, that they're not having to look through this stuff all day, every day, because it does get heavy. Like the Super Bowl, usually I take a full week off afterwards, like, I just need to not look at anything, do any analysis. So it definitely takes a pretty heavy toll, um, especially some of the cases like we had, the trafficker was like a suburban mom, and her social media is like pictures of her kids at like first day of school, like birthday parties. Meanwhile, she was trafficking a 13-year-old girl. So like stuff like that, like really takes a while. Like you have to sit with it for a little bit. Um, but I try to like, reluctantly just started getting back in the gym. Um, my boss always says you should have 3 outlets. You should have a physical outlet, a mental outlet, and an emotional outlet. So if one isn't working, you have the other 2, but you need to find 3 that work. So, um, now that I'm in Texas, I don't really have mountains to go hiking, and I melt when I step outside because I'm a ginger and it's Texas. So, gym, um, spending a lot of time with my dog, just trying to find anything that's, like, mentally occupying that I can just, like, zone out and I don't have to think about it.
Yeah, it makes sense. Um, when you say Super Bowl, are you talking like the football Super Bowl, or what do you
Mhm.
so what do you mean by that?
So there are a lot of, organizations that will tell you that major sporting events do not cause an increase in trafficking, they just say that it brings more awareness to trafficking, which is not true. Because I can see the Super Bowl, so I'll write reports. We basically monitor the area of the Super Bowl. We look for those ads that have indicators of trafficking and basically tip off law enforcement. So, it's like we do this for several days, and you can definitely tell the increase in activity like the Friday before the Super Bowl, and then like Monday hits, and it's just dead. So major sporting events we support as well, and then yeah, like the NFL draft was the same thing. So we just look for ads and basically tip off law enforcement.
So you see like an uptick in people looking for solicitors?
Oh, there's an uptick in providers.
Okay, interesting.
I mean, if you think
Um,
about, like Super Bowl, the World Cup, people are spending thousands of dollars. So you have these people coming into town for a weekend with disposable income.
eh,
It's a pretty lucrative market for them.
having pizza parties and shit.
Mhm.
Yeah, okay. I'm picking up what you're putting down. Um, yeah, we were yeah. When I had something weird happen because like I don't know if you're familiar with my area, but I live in Michigan, and we have this mall, which I've heard is a pretty known hot spot for that type of thing. It's called Great Lakes Crossing. It's a huge outlet mall. Apparently it's like it's known to be like a hot spot for like abducting and stuff like that. That's what I heard. I don't know. I don't have any factual evidence on that or anything. I've heard that. I remember 2 years or so ago, I had my it was Black Friday and we were at Great Lakes Crossing. It's a pretty common place to go and spend some money on the best day of the year to go spend some money. And I had my little boy with me, and he let go of me for like a second. And when it comes to my son, like I always know where he's at, listening for him or whatever, like just because he's like out of, even if I don't see him, like I'm listening, like I'm very, very, very tuned in on where my kid's at. And so he let go of me for like a second, and I look, and there's like this older Middle Eastern man just staring my son down in a very strange way. And I stared a hole into this man, and when he looked up at me, it like scared him, like he'd like jumped, like not noticing like I was looking at him like that. Like something set me off, like just the way he was looking at my son. It set me off to where like I was ready to fight this man for like no reason, basically. Because but something wasn't vibing right. It was a very weird, you know, very weird way to look at, like, he would have been like 4 or 5 at the time. So no grown man has any business looking at my kid in that way, the way he was like watching him. So
Well, and I think that's so hard is like it's so hard to like tell intentions of people. Like maybe it's just, but like it's that, yeah, when you have that gut feeling that like something isn't right.
yeah. Yeah, it's weird. It's especially when you start, looking into like how common it is. It's friggin' terrible.
Yeah, I
Um
think the United States is dollar for dollar the worst offender in the world.
yeah, which is crazy. I wouldn't have thought that. Um it's that's nuts. We need to do better. We need to figure out what the hell we need to do as a people to figure that out, because that's disgusting. Do you work with any other big organizations? Like, I know I'm on LinkedIn and I see one that's called like We Fight Monsters and stuff like that. Like, I think one of them is called. Um,
Um, I haven't worked with any other like NGOs, no.
okay, okay, gotcha, gotcha. And that's pretty much it for. There was one more. There was where is it at? Um, was there was there ever a case or a situation that you encountered in this line of work that like made you like want to take a step back and quit or give up or anything like that?
I think the one that I like briefly mentioned earlier with that 13-year-old girl and like the suburban mom was trafficking her. Um, and they like finally got the girl like in police custody trying to talk to her. And they were like, okay, they weren't going to detain her. She's 13. So they were trying to get information out of her. And they're like, we can take you somewhere safe. We can figure out, like where your parents are. And then she ended up running away again. And like we haven't been able to find her since. So that one like was pretty heavy for me that I definitely had to take a little bit of a break after that one and just like, because I'm constantly thinking, where is she? Is she okay? Did she get out of that situation? So that one was probably the worst one, and that was like shortly after I first started.
Did she have a bit of that Stockholm syndrome as well with that? Yeah, really bad.
Absolutely.
Yeah, it's the mind is one hell of a thing, man. It's it is crazy to see what people can do to somebody, mentally. It's it's no joke.
Well, and so many of them too are like taught to, not trust law enforcement. Um, so that definitely doesn't help when we're like trying to talk to them about their situation and trying to help them get out of it.
Well, I've seen so many videos of like people talking about this type of thing, which there's what, actually I wouldn't mind getting, I won't name drop. There's an actor who's pretty well known for doing some work with this type of stuff.
Mhm.
Although this actor, in my opinion, has been known to kind of be guilty of this type of stuff.
Definitely
Um,
some questionable friendships.
yeah. Well, even like he's married to somebody that he had a relationship when she was pretty frickin' young. Um, you know, and he kind of had some ties to a kind of like a murder, which is kind of crazy as well if you really go down that rabbit hole. Um, but anyway, he was talking about something about how he was like they were some of these kids and victims of trafficking are so accustomed to this lifestyle that they don't even realize that it's as bad as it is. And like the one thing that I'm specifically referring to is he said that this little girl was engaging in all this stuff and she just looked at it as it was playtime. Basically, she was so accustomed to it, and that is disgusting to me. That bothers me. That's kind of what I struggle with mentally, is that like you're so conditioned to that type
Mhm.
of abuse to where it's just Friday, it's just any other day. That's crazy to me, you know. Kind of want to name drop them, but I'm not going to do it.
I think everybody probably knows who you're
Yeah.
talking about.
Yeah. But yeah. But I'm out of questions. Kind of.
Man, I knew this was going to be a heavy one going into it. Like, I've known for weeks this was not going to be like a normal episode for us. And I still wasn't ready for exactly how fucking heavy this got. But I'm super glad that we're doing this episode. But I'm also out of questions on this topic, and kind of feeling a palate cleanse coming up, if you will. So, you said you're from Colorado,
Yes.
and you're an outdoorsy, not you. Well, were and probably still are an outdoorsy kid.
Yep.
How many of the 14ers have you climbed?
So surprisingly, I haven't done any of the 14ers. So my parents growing up, like, their idea of camping was, like, put a tent in the backyard. So it was hard, like, as a kid being able to, like, go on hikes and stuff. When I moved back after I got out of the Marine Corps, I tried to, like, every weekend was a hike or a camping trip, but also because I would take my dog, so it's a little more difficult, especially because he's getting old. So I try to find hikes that were, like, manageable for him.
Yeah.
But I mean, we'd do, like, 30-mile hikes in a weekend. I'd go back to the hotel, crank the AC, order a pizza, chug a beer, fall asleep, and do it all again next day.
As God intended.
Yeah.
Yeah, I climbed my first 14er was Huron,
Okay.
and I remember being like right before the final, like probably 300 feet to the actual summit, just laying there in the scree field, just like, dude, this fucking sucks.
Yeah.
What are we doing? And then the shirtless dude in fucking silkies with his fucking Malinois just goes sprinting past us, and I'm like, what the fuck was that?
Yeah, that sounds pretty on par.
I'm like, if that dude just did that, there's no way. No. All right. Okay. I'll quit being a bitch. Let's go. Let's go summit this peak. Let's get it over with.
Yeah, that elevation
Hey.
sneaks up on you sometimes.
Oh yeah, it does. I almost had a real big problem. We made a push. My brother-in-law and I made a push for Challenger and Kit Carson one year, which we were definitely in over our waders trying to do a class 4 when I had like 3 14ers done. And
Mhm.
we're like, yeah, fuck it. I climb in the gym. We can do this. Those should have probably been some famous last words, because I had no business doing anything close to class 4. Definitely not doing Challenger and Kit Carson. But it was like a 6-mile approach,
Oh my
and like
gosh.
you're just gaining elevation the whole time. Like we've probably both done some pretty fucking gnarly hikes in the Marine Corps. That was
Yeah.
by far the worst one I've ever done, and that was just the
That's
approach.
well, that's what I know people, like, down in the Springs because they have the Manitou Incline, which is, like, they have steps. It's very, I guess, developed. Um, but in, like, less than a mile, you're gaining, like, 2,000 vertical feet. And I know people that do that, like, on a weekly basis.
That's insane. That's insane.
Yeah.
Y'all Colorado folk are fucking built different, I guess. Because no, I could not hang. And that's probably why I will unfortunately never move to and live there. Because I'd
I
just be
think
mad
the
all the time.
I think the Marine Corps, like, got my knees bad enough. I don't know if I'd be able to do that. That's a lot of stairs.
Yeah, I would have to take all weekend doing that.
Yeah.
And then I'd be the weirdo that's like hanging a hammock somewhere on the fucking trail. But oh well. I guess there's worse things to be. Words are hard today. This is fucking bullshit.
I know I've been freaking stuttering and stumbling up on my own sentences like crazy today. Worse than normal, which normally I talk like I got a mouthful of quarters, but today was worse.
Dude, it was bad at work too. I was trying to do a brief this morning. I'm like, "Hello." Wow, those were almost words. All right, let me try that again. Sorry, everyone.
We're in the wrong business, I think.
I'm
Let's have
definitely
a
in the wrong business.
bunch of guys who can't talk. Let's do a podcast.
Oh, fuck.
Idiots.
Yeah, I don't know what we were thinking, but it's still fun, so we're gonna keep doing it.
Hell
Fuck
yeah.
it.
Hell
All right. Is there anything else that we want to hit before we wrap this thing? All right, nothing heard. So let's go around the horn for saved rounds and alibis, and we'll close this thing up. Jimmy, what do you got?
Hopefully we can do this again. We can come up with some more questions, and maybe some of our listeners can come up with some questions. And I would like to, very serious. I would like to try to find out how we could help be part of something bigger than ourselves. Because this is a huge issue. Like it's probably one of the biggest issues in my opinion. You know, it's 2026 and we're talking literal slavery going on, you know? It's wild. So hopefully we can do it again because this was a really good episode. I was really, really looking forward to this one. So thank you for coming on.
All right, Alisha, do you have any saved rounds or alibis from this?
Yeah, just thank y'all for having me. I'd love to do it again. Absolutely the biggest thing is getting awareness. And for anybody listening, if you want to help and you don't know how, you can always donate to Deliver Fund. Um, you know, ask questions. I'm more than happy to talk about this and spread awareness whenever and however. So thanks y'all for having me.
Yeah, of course. Anytime. Anytime. All right. So that pretty much wraps up our episode for tonight. So for Jimmy, for Gavin, who will eventually be back, I promise. For Alisha, and I'm Mike. This has been your weekly reminder to reach out to the dudes, the goons, the guys and gals that you went through the suck with, to check on your friends. Because like I always say, it's no fun going to funerals, right? That's pretty fucking shitty. So keep in touch with your friends, keep in touch with the boys, and yeah, I'm gonna steal Gavin's sign off. Just don't be a piece of shit. All right. At the end of the day, it's really not hard. So for all of us here at the Three Damn Dudes, we appreciate you guys. Thank you for tuning in and thanks for showing up. Okay, love you. Bye.
Okay, love you. Bye.